I'm going live. Good evening. Trying to catch you on I have two YouTubes at the moment going from two accounts, one on my mobile phone and one on my PC at home. So this is a live podcast debunking Ascot. And you know I only give tips to place. So work on that basis. Grab a pen and a paper. I'm on the Russian tonight, Russian coffee. So hope you join me. Celebration of the events of the current world events in the geopolitical world. Today, this is raw talking, right? So bear in mind, it's not for kids. It's over 18s only. This is a rare podcast where it will last for approximately an hour. I'll be debunking horse racing tips for my fans or for the audience of the Lebanese Tips. And this will be teaching you how to debunk the gambling sector. So I want to make a couple of checks before I start. So try to share this podcast, because one of the pandemics out there is the gambling sector pandemics. And I advocate here in teaching the public how to gamble properly. And hopefully you will refrain from speculative gambling and watch this example here that I'm presenting for Ascot Race today on the 19th of October at 3:25 a.m. London local time. So I'm going to do a couple of checks, Grab a pen, grab a paper. We're going to do some lucky 15s, each way Trixies, lucky 15s each way. I only tip to place. We're going to do some... I've just had a little drink today because something... This is dedicated to my mum. I love you, Mum. I spoke to her. I briefly had a telephone chat with her. And so this podcast will be serious shit, This is, I'm not here to entertain you, I'm complementing my gambling researching that I've done over a number of years, gambling researching of tip service providers. That is to say, the people that you pay tips. Sorry, you pay for sports tips, and they give you. In this podcast, it will be horse racing. And so, if I could just tell you, my other audience, the audience of my quote presidential case, if I could just say to you, I would like you to observe my podcasts, because when I do these podcasts, it complements my presidential case as well. And I do talk about that in a, how can I say, what was that word that Maurice Herman, an independent investigative journalist, interviewed me. The only Jewish investigative journalist who interviewed me would put it, I dither, or I dither in the subjects that they talk about. And so I dither because I have an audience of the gambling sector, and that audience is quite a healthy audience. It's quite a accomplished audience, and where my research lays in the gambling sector is the tip service providers. I've investigated you in my own way of my transferable skills. What I've concluded is complementing them with the Middle Eastern complex I have, the Middle Eastern knowledge I have, or the true terminology as we've come to learn, the West Asia where I come from. I'm a British Londoner. I'm a Cockney-speaking, raw-talking Lebanese Londoner. So if you want to make sure that this is not for kids, this is not for lightweights, yeah, this is not for this is not a propaganda podcast. Although I do talk politics and I do bring in my geopolitical awareness of world current affairs in the same way as you lot who I used to support of your most professional upper echelons of the gambling of the financial banking sector, where I have a professionalism in serving the stockbrokers and financial advisors, some of your finest in the country, in England and in America, who came over from America. So I've got knowledge of serving what is known as some of the best trainers of stockbrokers and financial advisors, some of the best stockbrokers and financial advisors in England, and Americans who have come over to England and where I was based in Hewlett Packard. And so I'm going to bring all of these things here. I keep bringing them up because you get a new audience, and I've had over 300,000 interactions in the last few months. So I have to sometimes repopulate myself in order to, that's a horse tip as well, reverberate, in order to entertain the new audience, if you like, or update the new audience. So here we go. What I'm doing today is I'm debunking the horse racing, all the horse races in England and Ireland. And after a couple of checks, write down these. I only put to place, and I only debunk the, with due respect to the favourites, I only debunk the subliminal messages that government send out to program your minds and your say your opinion. And when they sway your opinion, they want to make money from it. So what I do in the same way as King Robbo, my school classmate, because they don't know King Robbo, his name is John Robertson. He was 5 or 6 years old when I went to school with him. He was producing some fantastic graffiti art at that tender age. 5 or 6 years old, 7 years old. You probably heard about him through Banksy, and those are just reverberant. The real artist. When I say real artist, how do I justify myself in calling King Robbo a real artist? And that is to say, me and you, the public, more than likely used a stencil before. That is exactly what Banksy is. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I'm here to nurture you into understanding what happened to, quote, Graffiti Wars. Look it up on Channel 4 documentary, Graffiti Wars. I come from Islington, and I have done since 1973, since I was about 3.5 years old. So for those of you that don't know, I'm here to debunk the gambling sector using black ops, psyop, and neuro-linguistical practitioner skills. Here's my mug I got. This is one of the tips I tipped in my previous podcast. From now on, buy a mug, a camping mug. It's made from tin or metal or something like that. And if that drops, like my mug did, sometimes that cost you 5, 10 quid. It will never happen again. And you'll be saving. How many mugs will you tell me? How many mugs have you smashed? Okay. Cheers, by the way. Oh, what coffee? Oh, I just pulled out a ration bottle. Dear, dear, dear. I might have my podcast terminated after this. I'm doing this in a rare drink that I really do. I used to drink on a Friday or Saturday night, but I'm doing this to show you lot a little bit of ego that I've got here. And that ego is that I'm going to present some breaking news tomorrow. And you might even, if you're lucky, get some reverse forecasts and tricasts. Where's the big one? Is a rare broadcast that coming to you from London, Islington, where it's generated more prime ministers than any other prime minister who lived in England. Lived here, it was Labour have been in control. Is there right to them? I'm a 17 hunger striker. Watch my podcasts, although some of them will have tips on them, and you think that they're on tips. It's debunking my quote presidential case. And my presidential case involves me sitting down with the former first counsel of the Lebanese embassy here in England, in London, where currently Rami Mortada is the Lebanese ambassador, who you probably have heard and seen currently on the Sky News. And prior to him was Miss Usayran. And prior to him was Miss Usayran. Miss Usayran, who's related to the Speaker of Lebanon. What's his name? What's his name again? Oh gosh. Berry. The word Berry. That's an interesting name, isn't it? The word Berry. Well, that's part of my horse racing debunking, actually, in using the words Black Ops, RLP, and NLP. Because you won't find me giving you biased tips. I'm not here to give your bench patch tips here, you know. When you get the world's #1 tip service provider, the ones that sponsor sports sector, sports celebrity, football celebrity names, and all the other sports, when you get olbg.com start to follow you, what you got to do is you got to tell the public. And I'm not shy in being on social media. I don't act. I don't put on an act. I don't rehearse. This is straight talking, raw, Cockney speaking British Lebanese Londoner. To my audience of Lebanese tips, where I've debunked the tip service provider in a way where I've researched them through my professionalism. When I say my professionalism, I'm an IT professional. I'm a former Hewlett Packard employee, one of the top 10 companies to work for in the world. And my career spans on working with third-party providers. And I have some considerable expertise, as my dad had his own expertise in his field of career. He was a wine expert. And he used to work for Tottenham in their football ground. So I'm a bit of a even though I'm a British Lebanese. That's great, isn't it? Sorry if you're offended, but I'm the follower of Jim Davidson Yeah, and he follows my podcasts. I'm sure if he doesn't, what's his face? I've certainly put tips onto him, and I suspect anyway. I'm not certain because he's a proper, I don't know, Tommy Robinson type, if you like. You know, one of the ones that got their heads leaning to one way instead of straight. You observing, you psychiatrists and consultant psychiatrists, because I'll fucking debunked you as well. And you're looking at someone who's remarkably put a mark in the medical profession, as they have never witnessed in their lifetime someone who's subjected to Section 2 of the Mental Health Act. And I've told them, yeah, I had a phone call from the president, and they just started to think, yeah, right. Well, I'll fucking debunked you and your 7-8 years professionalism. I've debunked you. Most of you. But the very few of you, I've got a lot of respect for you. Because you studied them hours for a long time. Are you listening, Dr. Hankir? Are you listening, Dr. Hankir? You know who you are. You're a British Lebanese. Your education was back there, yeah? So I segment you in the youth of those who grew up in that culture. If your education is back home in the motherland, wherever you may be, whether it be Lebanon or our lovely Yemen, man. I love Yemen. The other day I went to a restaurant deliberately to buy a Yemen meal because I'm so proud of you. Because the cowards in Iran wouldn't do the job that I've been going around suggesting in the social media, which is shut down straight off Hormuz. Let's get the pink petrol. Let's get, you've got to be careful how you're talking it. Let's get the pink petrol. Well, basically, the pink petrol was the black market when I witnessed this activity happen decades ago. And I remember me and my mates, or when I say my mate, I'm godfather to that child there. He's no longer a child now. Islam Council made me lose that. I'm godfather and best man to that child there. And as we move on from that, I don't know why I did it there, but you'll find that magnifying glass represents what's happening with YouTube. So I'm really restricted in what I want to say. Perhaps I should move over to Rumble. If you Twitter and YouTube audience want to consider a new Rumble account, I think probably the best one will be to go on to Rumble and subscribe to British Lebanese, one word. I'm the first person who got that account, British Lebanese. And I was also the first person that got another one before even the British Lebanese embassy, because they couldn't think of it quicker than I can. And I didn't like it because I got the British Lebanese Twitter account, but I've gone there. Because the Tommy Robinson lobby started to use and abuse Elon Musk's, well, no, they weren't Elon Musk's terms and regulations, actually. They were different to the former companies, actually. They were different to the former company. So by rights, if anyone out there wants to help me bring in my Twitter account without asking me for private information or logging into my details, including you YouTubers out there who's trying to hunt and fish for information, don't even think about it, yeah? I'm an IT person. I'm ITIL Foundation trained. Yeah. What's happening in Lebanon right now, I've debunked donkeys ago, decades ago. Yeah, I'm really angry about that. The cyber world has been infiltrated. It sure has. And so before we kick off into the sports sector, because today is a bit of start. OBG themselves used to follow me as well. So if you're listening out there, guys, yeah, I ain't sponsored. I'm a virgin to your sponsorships and all you other podcasters out there, your celebrity who follow me, because you know who you are. Yeah. And while we're talking to my audience in the Lebanese world and the Arab world, yeah, I've been targeted in many ways, yeah. Even my horse racing tracker alerts. You listening? Even my horse racing tracker alerts has been deleted several times. When I reinstated it, it was deleted. And even number one's bookmaker deleted my horse tracker alerts and compensated me over 200 quid for it. So what's going on? Well, beep. Cockney alert. Oh gosh, he swore. Oh, we got to segment him now. He's a Cockney talker. Our culture. You insult my culture, yeah, I'll give you my culture. You insult my culture. Be you a judge, be you a police officer, be you any uniform wearing official, any enforcements, you insult my culture, yeah, that's racism. That's discrimination. Do you hear me, judge? Because you same judge, the same judge in the Pie and Mash award-winning founder, yeah, who's a Cockney-speaking Londoner like I am. When you look at his face, I used to think I was white until I realised I was. Till I realised people's treatment to me that, hey, hold on one sec. What do you mean, white man? Would you? Oh, let me say it again. That word, white man. Say it again. That word, white man. What do you mean, white man? Because these words like get gagged and off of all these social media. So subscribe to my Rumble, yeah. By the way, Rumble was a tip today. I was in a bad mood today. Rumble, the word Rumble, I can't remember what the tip was. It was rumbled again or something like that. There was a horse called Rumble, and it was tempting. I did tip it. I knew what was going on. I also debunk algorithms as well as using Black Ops PsyOp and LP. This is a training podcast as well as a long podcast. I've done over 24 minutes, nearly 24 minutes now. So I'm going to take into, I don't advocate you to gamble. This is not a podcast to advocate gambling. I strongly urge you not to. And, you know, I come from a world of where I'm using the transferable skills that I got, and I'm trying to complement this event awareness of geopolitics with debunking the gambling sector. What I like to entice the over 18s to do is not gamble, but use advocates in the same way as when the stockbrokers and financial advisors came over from America, where they, excuse me, oh dear, when you burp in England, you're considered as insulting or rude. But when you burp in Lebanon, it's like a sign of good health. So when you drink a glass of alcohol, which is a Lebanese alcohol drink, you burp, it's good health. But here, when they see you eating with hands, they think, oh, that looks odd, don't it? You know what resonates? Sheikh Imran Hussein's analysis, because I love that person so dearly. My heart goes out to him. It's the debunking of the geopolitical world that he brings forth. And I have so been meaning to see his live presentations, but I fear it because he was stopped by police on the airport. Just like I knew I would have been stopped by police if I was going to go out and rescue my mother when she was in a highly volatile area in Lebanon. She was detained against her will. And I couldn't leave because I was on bail out to appear at court. The trauma that I suffered trying to reason with judges, ignorant judges. Ignorant judges from England's central mission control, Westminster Court, where I've been sent to, even though I live in Islington, but should have gone to Highbury. But no. 17-day hunger striker, who's been targeted by Islington police station. And only yesterday, I get Jehovah's Witnesses knocking on my door, which in the past has shown me that these so-called Jehovah's Witnesses that I've debunked are a sign that the police are coming to arrest me. And I'm already on bail, on due court, for sending an email to journalists. Some of them wanted to interview me, and one of them, you all know who he is. Sean Atwood, his name is. I'm banned from contacting Sean Atwood. I'm banned from contacting Syrian Girl. I'm banned from contacting Chris Dorsey. I'm banned from contacting Robert Carter because there's a case going at the moment. And I could be arrested anytime just by doing what my lawyer told me to do. My lawyer, my British lawyer, where my diplomat, first counsel, diplomat, the one that's got immunity to shoot. Diplomats have immunity to shoot people. Where a diplomat, former diplomat, first counsel angry. That's the why I'm doing that. I don't have this dyslexia like my sister alleges she has. Who I met personally, Hazem Abdul Samad. He tells me, we're going to sort out your case. I'm going to help you get rehabilitated back into the working environment. And I meet personally after an invitation from me. Why? Because I got a fucking phone call off of the president of Lebanon. His name is Michel Sleiman, the 43rd president of Lebanon, if I remember rightly. If I'm wrong, so what? And he made a promise telling me that he was going to help me. But why did he back down? Because I recorded the phone call I got off the president. Because I thought, I don't want mug on my face. Can you imagine if I told someone, I got a phone call from the president? Especially when you live in Islington and you've got a racist community here. When I say racist community, I don't mean racist community. It's got nothing. I just remember the word YouTube and I thought, shit, I got to alter my talk. I have to be so careful. It's so frustrating when I go on social media. Perhaps that's why I decided to have a little drink as well. But this podcast is dithers with me getting my presidential case because a British lawyer tells me I've got to tell the public of my findings. And I quote what she said, Sam, I urge you to inform the public of your findings. But diplomat Hazem Abdel Samad, former first consul of the Lebanese embassy here in London, number one being Ambassador Rami Mortada, who is currently the number one representative of Lebanon here in England, who I demanded, is demanded the right word, something was wrong, who I requested, I certainly requested to meet, because when you get a phone call off the president, yeah, you don't fuck about with small fish, your white collar staff or anything like that. Even though Israel Council considers, and I'm dithering, Israel Council considers, when I quote the word white collar staff, they think I'm fucking being racist. Because they stick a load of, I have to be careful even saying that, they